What do you think creates more violence, poverty or music? Now, one thing I got to start to do right off the rip is change the atmosphere of where I'm asking that question. So we definitely want to say America, right? Because some of these third world countries or whatever, like we know how crazy it is. And here in America, they say this is the land of opportunity, right? So when I say poverty versus music, I damn near only want to target American inner city hip hop culture. I kind of want to restrict my question only to that. When people say music is the soundtrack to our life, I don't know if that goes over everybody's heads. I don't know if we realize how much of an influence music really is. When people do things like, when they riding out, let's say to put in some type of work, you could talk about something that's nonviolent. You could just talk about like the gym, right? What type of music do you play when you work out? Do you play jazz? Huh? Do you play like some super duper slow love making music? No. You play the type of music that gets up your adrenaline, that moves you, that makes you motivated, that makes you hype. That's because music has that ability. The soundtrack to our life, it has that ability to stir emotions. You have a young lady over. What are you putting on? Well, I mean, I'm not saying that we don't fuck to everything. I didn't fuck to every different type of music under the sun. But I'm trying to say, like, when you want to set the mood, keyword mood, right? Put something nice on, some relaxed, some slow, something that's not so adrenaline pumping and got you all racy and all over the fucking place, right? Once again, it's because music creates a vibe, it sets a tone, it creates an energy, it stirs emotion. There's certain songs that can make you cry. There's certain songs that can make you want to kill. That's very, very real. Certain songs that could motivate you to be successful. Music is almost getting to a place where it requires only the responsible to tune in. It's almost getting to that level because when I think about drill music, which I love, when I think about how popular it is for these people to be dissing each other, going at each other, the dissing of dead homies and smoking all these different packs and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it's more intriguing, the fact that these people make more money when they diss the dead or when they give these little synopsis of murders that have possibly happened or what they would do to their ops and all that type of stuff. It's more intriguing to people. So it makes more money, it gets more views, it gets more play. There's no doubt in my mind that 8 out of 10 people these days running around talking about my ops this, my ops that, is because it's becoming popular. And our music is one of the lead forces of making it popular. It's like people think it's cool to have ops. People think it's cool to have enemies. You got people that don't have a single enemy or a single op in the world, but they think it's cool because that's what they're listening to. It's like we're even getting desensitized to loss of life somewhat from our music. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like, music consumption needs to become with another level of responsibility now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it is in certain states to walk into a store and get a gun and maybe, your background checks, or maybe you have to be licensed, or maybe in certain states you can't even walk into a store and buy a gun. You have to be of a certain type of clearance or classification to purchase a gun, maybe a security guard or some form of law enforcement to get a gun in certain states, right? But there's a form of responsibility that must come with some type of check in a lot of places, especially years back. I know the South is changing something crazy, but years back, most places, associate a certain form of responsibility with something that can be so strong, which is like a firearm or a weapon, right? Or something like a license. There's vehicular manslaughter for a reason. You can kill somebody with a car purposefully or accidentally. We could use our GOAT. I call him the GOAT. Jay-Z, man, he's a GOAT. GOAT, man. Get that man a GOAT crown. Stop playing. And not just because of the God there verse. He's been the GOAT, okay? Even though what we do is wrong, my personal interpretation of that title was always like kind of aligned with his moment of clarity lyrics, right? Isn't it Moment of Clarity? Is that the song with truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 mil. I ain't been rhyming like common sense. When your sense got that much in common, you do sense, fucking do what sense. I know what I'm up against. You know what I'm saying? Like break down whatever those lines were. I know I fucking crucified it, but he's saying like, truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, the rapper Common. You know what I mean? But I did 5 mil. Money changing his course of what is really in his heart. I ain't been rhyming like common sense, SINCE, right? Think about that bar, that line. I want to be like this, but the money made me be like this. There's no other way to interpret that. That's literally what he said. Okay. Even though what we do is wrong, one of the best hip hop songs of all time, right? Classic. I've always interpreted that of even though what we do is wrong is like, you got to know the trade offs. You know what I'm saying? Think of the responsibility that Jay-Z, I know he's smart enough to know that. Well, indirect responsibility of the people that he affects simply because of how powerful his voice is. This is a guy that got us to take the rims off of our car, got us to wear button-up shirts, got us to wear jerseys, or he almost got rid of auto-tune for a second. When he did the death of auto-tune, he almost got rid of auto-tune. You know, even T-Pain had to walk out on the stage for that. I was there. You know what I'm saying? There's a list of things that Jay-Z has influenced and affected. Even at times, some of the shit that we drink, alcohol and shit. Like, so extremely influential person. Of course, I'm not saying that you can't blame the stupid idiot that's spending his rent money on dumb shit that he heard in a song, but that's the influence and the power of music. You know what I'm saying? Even though what we do is wrong, like how can you not know that the stuff that I'm saying might have this kid over here acting a way that could be detrimental to his own life? You gotta know that. All musicians should know that. They may not care, you know what I'm saying? But that's the power of music. Music is healing, music is destroying. It's both. It's both. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, and this is a whole nother topic I can get into. I could do an hour on this, but I've always equated that to what selling your soul really is. Okay. I know you can go the lane of selling your soul being spiritual, selling your soul being, you know, on that other side of things, like the whole satanic, and you can get into the Freemasonry or the Illuminati and all that type, and the blood sacrifice. You get into all that type of stuff, right? You go to Alex Jones for that. I ain't getting into that bag right now. All right. But to me, selling your soul is exchanging um what you know to be wrong, whether within your own chest or even if it's just detrimental to all the people around you, for some type of gain. And 9 times out of 10, those gains are money. Who we kidding, right? That's what I've always equated to selling your soul for. Dave Chappelle, once again, he didn't want to sell his soul. When Dave Chappelle did that interview where he was saying like, why do all of our black actors, get approached by Hollywood and these studios and these producers and these directors to play these female roles or wear a dress? Something's weird. Like, I was approached by at one point, and I turned it down. I said no, and came back, and they were so persistent and adamant that I do a scene like this, and I was just like, why? Like, no, I'm good. Like, what's your reason for having to have me do this? So why are you so adamant about this, right? Whereas you can have the Ving Rhames that'll put that wig on or do that Pulp Fiction scene that we were talking about earlier in this podcast. And to me, those are forms of selling your soul. Those are forms of not having the boundaries, or just upfront deciding that, or knowing that, yeah, I know the adverse effect of what I'm doing, but I'm willing to have that trade-off for this gain over here. I'm willing to have that trade-off. And all of this ties to me into why I feel like music is becoming more and more of something that needs to be consumed by the responsible. I mean, music has been dangerous forever, right? You could flip it even on the other spectrum early on when they were rolling over fucking NWA CDs with steamrollers and shit like that. And that depiction was also in the movie Straight Outta Compton. You know what I'm saying? When hip hop started to go into these households that it wasn't welcomed in. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute. You know, the president's or the mayor's son is listening to this gangster rap. Oh, hold on, this is going too far. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, this kid that's growing up in white suburbia is trying to sag his pants and wear gold chains and all this type of stuff. Oh, no, 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 no. The influence, the influence of it. That's like a different side of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? If we talk about, you know, the poverty stricken areas, like I said, and the violence of these places, and it doesn't even have to be poverty, you know what I'm saying, when we talk about violence, but musically invoked violence, it's there and it's rampant. Do you really think that our music today is that much less prone to create violence than the poverty itself? If you look around and you see the way our youth are acting, you see the influence of our music, you see the way it's trending. I think y'all have seen enough at this point to not be naive and realize that music can be an extreme culprit of a lot of today's violence.